Devin, sorry it took so long. So the reason why we had some problems is I actually discovered a space a long time ago, and Hitch was in there with, or Hitch Slap One, whatever his name is, and I'd never met him before, but I listened to him and Teaming, a friend of mine, basically riff on some topics, a lot of random stuff, and it was a really small space. It was me, them two, one other person I think it was, and the host. And I won't talk about the host's name because I respect the host so much. Anyway, him and Teaming basically were talking, and then he said some things about paying attention to the audience. Stuff that he says in his spaces a lot, where he wants to respect people who are learning and growing. And I can't remember all the stuff that he said, but his theme was, you got to take care of the audience. And so I was listening and thinking to myself, okay, so you want to listen to the audience. So I raised my hand in the audience, and then I respectfully waited, and I waited for quite a while. Well, then finally, somehow I got the mic, and I decided to interrupt them and say, hey, didn't you say something about the audience? And he was like, why'd you interrupt me, basically, or something like that. And I said, well, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I'm just trying to point out inconsistency here, which is you're not respecting the audience. It appears that you're kind of ignoring the audience, and you guys are just talking alone, and you don't want anybody else to talk. And he got really defensive and very emotional. And the host kind of came out of nowhere, and then she said, oh my God, I know you, Hitch, and you're not like this. Like, today is really off for you, or this is not your normal you. Could you please stop? Could you actually be respectful to this guy? And I was like, just listening to it, and I was kind of laughing to a certain degree. And then he kept on getting emotional, and he got abusive when he was trying to respond to me or attack me, basically. And so eventually she kicked him out of the room because he was just really horribly abusive. And so we had an amazing conversation, Teaming, her and I and a few others, and it turned out to be a great space. But he didn't forget, because the first thing he did, obviously, is block me. I don't care. I don't need immature imbeciles to, follow, or whatever the case may be. But what I learned after that more was he was doing posts about IQ, and it was very racist, by the way. I don't know if he's gone to delete them, but they're very racist. They were basically saying like white people are superior to other races. But besides that, which we can debate, and he loves to, post stuff on IQ. What he also did on top of that is someone invited me to his space, and not Hitch Slaps, but this other guy's space. And he kept on asking, and then eventually I finally had time, went to the guy's space, and then ended up finding out, or not finding out, is immediately after I got in, Hitch Slap, who was the co-host, kicked me out of the room. I was like, wow, you're so fucking immature. Not only are you immature, you're such a coward. Like, you don't even want to confront me, I guess. So I was like, okay, whatever. And so a couple of times I pointed it out to various people. And then over time, I started to learn that he exhibited behavior like that with other people. And I'm not going to disrespect all those other people. But overall, he was just acting like an imbecile and very cowardly and whatever. So people didn't trust me, and they kept on defending him. I'm like, fine, do whatever you want to do, but I'm just going to point out these mere facts. Then I found out literally the other night, he almost ruined the relationship of one of my best buddies here on this platform. So he's just done so many stupid things that people just don't know. It just, you have to get to know him. And then once you get to know him, all these weak, immature behavior traits start to come out. So those are the things. There's a couple other things I couldn't remember, but I just wanted to make sure you knew exactly what I know.